Hello, friends. This week we are going to talk a little about leadership again. A common misconception that most of us have is that to be a leader, you need to rise through the ranks and have a fancy title, CEO, CFO. And people tend to also identify a leader by their titles and roles. Though unfortunately, very often, I have met people who have great titles who are playing significant roles in organizations or even maybe at projects, but they're not really leaders. They're great managers, let me tell you that, but they're not really leaders. And therefore, I make this statement that leadership is not about a designation or a position that you hold. It's about certain skills that you have. Through the years, right from my student days, as a student, as a business manager, business owner, and as a consultant, I have come across and interacted with so many freshers or newbies, as I would call them, who have exhibited superior leadership traits and have contributed more to a project or a task than those who lead them. And it's apparent. You would have in your school met people who were leaders and who became a force within your class. Now, they don't have a designation. It was not the monitors in school who were always the leaders. There were plenty of others who were leaders, maybe some in the right way, some in the wrong way. In my school, I know there were leaders who were great at just disrupting anything normal going on in the school. But they are leaders. They had no designations, but they had the requisite skills to become leaders. And they were far more better at being leaders than the person who was actually leading the project or the team. And therefore, the best leaders do not, I repeat, do not need a title or get promoted to some position to be a leader. But a leader, the best leaders are the ones who have developed the skill set and the mindset to get and behave like leaders way before getting into that position. And they have demonstrated and deployed the skills in whatever task they were doing. And very often it is that deployment before they attain the title or the designation or the position that got them the designation or position. And therefore, that skill is something they had which gave them the title or the designation that one is looking and talking of. Leadership is basically the ability and the desire to accept responsibility for whatever it is that you are entrusted to do and deliver. And a leader needs to have a vision and the capability to set goals based on the vision. That leader needs to have knowledge and management skills that are required to achieve those goals. And they look at goals and success and achieving those goals, not just for themselves, but for the organization and colleagues at large. So leadership is not just about being or succeeding yourself. Okay, so leaders are ones who are capable of sharing their vision and their goals and having the requisite skill set to be able to communicate and influence and get others to believe in their vision and to support them and back them to achieve their goals. They get a buy-in from every one of the teammates that they're working with. And that buy-in compels and drives the team, entire team, beginning with themselves and all their teammates, to succeed and make an impact, not only by just delivering the results, but by the way they do it. Okay. So now how does one become a leader? I think the first thing that a leader requires is to shift. They require a shift to happen in their mindset and their perspectives. They need to learn not to focus just on their own successes, but also on how to facilitate and help and guide the entire organization and their teammates to success. The more the teammates and the organization succeeds, the more is the success of that individual leader. So now that we know what we're talking about when we talk of leaders, and that it's not just about a designation, but about a skill set, I'm going to give you some tips on how you can become a great leader and develop those leadership skills that are required. Nobody is born with those leadership skills. They are acquired right from school. It might be acquired on the playing field. It can be acquired in class. It can be acquired in many different ways. But you need to be able to acquire those skills and develop them so that you become a successful leader. And I think whenever you want to learn a new skill, it's not just about leadership, but even more so in leadership, you need to schedule time. You need to slot out a time where you are going to focus on your personal growth on a daily basis. It can't be random. Okay, today I have 1 hour, I'm going to work on it. No, it has to be a focused and dedicated effort, which you slot out every single day of the week. Yeah, you can take the weekend off if you want, but at least on Monday to Friday. In fact, you should be devoting some additional time on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm sure you're in a rush to become a great leader. And you need to become a better version of yourself and improve your skills that are required for becoming a great leader on a daily basis. That improvement doesn't have to come in spurts and huge numbers. But as you must have heard many people saying, improve yourself by 1% every day, and you're going to become far better than what you are in a month, in a year, in a quarter, whatever it is that you're doing. So you need to become a better version of yourself and improve your skills on a daily basis. And more often than not, I have always suggested and recommended that a person who is aspiring to be a great leader should seek a mentor or a coach and ask for their guidance and advice on how to become. As I said, nobody is born with it. People hone their skills. Now you must seek a mentor or a coach who has developed those skills to be able to advise you and guide you on your path to leadership. And we'll look at it a little later, but remember the statement I'm making. You need to learn beyond just your work areas. Okay, aptitude is great, and it's a necessity. But as I've often said, it is not your aptitude, but your attitude that will determine your altitude. Hone your people skills. As a leader, you're going to need them all the time. You need to be able to figure out what activates and motivates the other people that you come into contact with. And as a leader, you take the help of a coach, but you have to hone your own skills to become a coach, because that's what you need to be for every team member who's there and with whom you're interacting and leading. You need to be able to coach them, because as I said, only if they succeed will you succeed. So you need to schedule time to hone all the skills that are required for becoming a great leader. Now, frequently you must have been told that work on your weaknesses, work on your weaknesses. And there used to be a time when I was told this all the time. While it is important, undoubtedly, to work on your weaknesses, but it's a slow process, it's a time-consuming process. To make immediate impact, what you need to do is to start utilizing your existing strengths, your existing advantages, and improve your performance and self-confidence thereby. As you perform, you will automatically get more confidence in yourself. You need to improve your performance and your self-confidence. So you need to look at this actively. You need to look for projects or even parts of projects and tasks that will help you to use your existing strengths, okay, and perform exceptionally well, stand out, and be recognized as somebody who has those leadership skills. It may be just 3 of the 20 skills that you require, but those 3 strengths you need to emphasize and demonstrate so people start believing. As I said, you need people skills. So you need to be learning how to improve your ability to connect with people. You need to have better communication skills. You need to have better presentation skills to get your team to buy into whatever is your vision and the goals that you set. And you need to hone your public speaking skills. As a leader, you will be required undoubtedly to address various people, various stakeholders, various potential stakeholders in your business or your organization or the project that you're working on. So you need to hone your communication skills, your presentation skills, and your public speaking. Everyone has vulnerabilities. You are also vulnerable in some way or the other. Accept that you are vulnerable. Accept the things that you're vulnerable about. Don't shy away from them. Okay? People will understand. Everybody knows that nobody is perfect. And everybody knows that you are human and not a god. So people will understand your challenges and they will help you to overcome them, even if they are your juniors. They might have that skill which is better developed than you, and they can help you to overcome your vulnerabilities. I've said this often enough in previous episodes. Be authentic. Be yourself. Do not try to project yourself as something that is not you. Do not be untrue to yourself. Even if you are trying to project the image of a mentor or somebody whom you look up to, who is your role model, so to say. No, that's not going to get you anywhere. Be yourself. Walk the talk. Do not tell or talk of things that you are not capable of doing. And lead by example. Walk the talk, that means lead by example. Okay? And be empathetic. All your colleagues, everybody whom you're working with, treat them as humans, not just as machines who are there to do a certain job that you need to get done. Understand their challenges, not only at work, but even beyond if possible. and help them to get over those challenges in whichever way you can. So there are some shifts, mindset shifts that you will need to make to become a good leader. We said this in the first few minutes of the thing, that what you need to do is to have a mindset shift. And some of the things that you need to remember and change about your thinking and your mindset is that from a specialist, you need to become a generalist. And that is why I said at one stage that you need to learn things beyond your work. When you're doing a normal job, you need to be a specialist in whatever task that you're working on. But when you become a leader, you are going to guide the whole team who have different tasks, which is not necessarily your skill set, but you need to get a working knowledge, so to say, of all of those things. So you need to become a generalist. But by that, I don't mean a jack of all. You definitely need to be a jack of all, but you really need to be the king of some of those things. And that is your thing, whatever it is, the job profile that you had originally. At least on that front, you need to be able to go in there and say, yes, I know this. From being an analyst, you need to become an integrator. And this is the same thing as above. When you were doing a job, you had to analyze every outcome, analyze every process step that you are doing. But now as a leader, you are going to be an integrator who is going to sit and plan how 7 of your teammates or 10 of your teammates, how their task can be integrated to help you achieve your desired vision and goals. And a consequence of this is that from being a tactician, you need to become a strategist. As somebody who's doing a job, not the leadership job, a regular job, you are going to do something when you need to be a tactician. You need to be able to address the challenges that come your way in doing that, and you're delivering a part of the result. As a leader, you have to develop and deliver the whole vision and all the goals. And therefore, you need to be a strategist, because you're going to lead the organization and your teammates to success. And you need to have a well-tuned strategy to be able to do that. You need to move from being a mason to an architect. All of these things are essentially telling you about the same thing. Okay, but you need to be able to remember that and do that. So you need to move from being a mason to a strategist. When you're doing a job, when you're just one of the components of the project, you're a mason. You're laying the brick by brick by brick. But now you're the leader who's leading the project. You need to be an architect. You need to go beyond just doing your job, but look at the overall big picture. Like an architect looks at the entire space that is available to him or her. And then the plans, that's the strategy part of it coming in. Okay. And then you need to execute. You need to coordinate between the different agencies. In the same way as a leader, you need to coordinate between the different team members or different teams to be able to deliver what you're looking at. From a problem solver, you need to become an agenda setter. When you're on the job, you need to solve the problem that comes in finishing your task. But as a leader, you need to set the agenda so that all the tasks get performed and they are coordinated to deliver. From being a warrior, you need to become a diplomat. When you're doing your own task, you need to be a warrior. Hook or crook, you need to get it done. But when you're now working with various teammates and various teams, you need to become a diplomat. As a leader, you need to coordinate with different people, and therefore that warrior attitude is not going to work. And at the end of the day, from being a supporting cast member, you are one of the team members with a small or maybe a significant task that you are expected to deliver on. You now become the leading star. You are the hero or the heroine of the film, and now everything is dependent on you. Everybody is going to look at you to make sure that the project succeeds. So, friends, as we said at the start, becoming a leader requires a change in mindset and a perspective. And you need to focus not on your own success, but on the success of the organization and the entire team. So if you listen to this episode carefully, if you are going to follow the tips and the shifts that I have been talking about, trust me, you're on your way to becoming a significantly great leader compared to the rest of the crowd. Ponder on this, send me your comments, and see you in the next episode. Thank you.